All right, come on, let's go. What do we got?
Okay, Terry, just a comment, an observation about my dog, and it's relevant.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you just say about your dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Go.
My 3-year-old dog has gone blind. It's off. It's heartbreaking. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's not suffering, Terry.
Yeah.
He's not. It doesn't seem like he's looking into the future. How bad's it going to get?
Yeah.
Comparing with the past. And I'm just wondering, is it purely because he hasn't got a word, a language for it? Is it around? I know there's more going on with the brain, but is it because he hasn't got language?
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yep. Without language, there's no me. Boom. Without language, there's no separation. Without language, there's I'm unique, or I'm not unique, or I'm separate, or I'm isolated, or I'm in charge, or I have free will, or I'm the doer, blah, 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 blah. It's just language. Seems to be unique to human beings.
And no memory without language.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think, no, there's another, if you take a dog, yeah, there is recognition of you. They recognize, yeah. But it doesn't mean language is necessary for recognition.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Like, we recognize the sun coming up. Do we need thought to actually recognize that? It's just the pure recognition of it. If we needed to rely on thought to know that the sun was coming up, we'd have to constantly, because the sun keeps apparently rising, right? You'd have to constantly be sitting there saying, the sun is rising, the sun is rising, the sun is rising, the sun. We don't do that. That's not what happens. Yeah. There's there's another beautiful intelligence at play. Often it's referred to as God. Yeah. I'm not about to refer to it as God, but I mean, look around. Look around. Just, you only need to look around. Like, how can anybody say that there's not an intelligence at work here? How could anybody say that with a straight face? No, there's no intelligence. But yeah, just on that point, Malcolm, a dog, they're just being, their love, but the dog doesn't know it's a dog. Like we're the ones that have labeled it the word dog. Dog doesn't know it's a dog. It's just this being creature. Happens to be. It's really interesting with dogs. Like they just have this capacity to be able to connect with us in love. And it's not just with dogs. Other animals can do it as well. If you spend time with them, they too connect. Yeah. But it's a different kind of connection. It's love connecting with love, or the being connecting with being, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. Whereas as human beings, what human beings do is thought connects with thought. What a nightmare scenario. Like, really. I'm in a relationship with what I think of you, and you're in a relationship with what you think of me. Relationship's doomed. Neither person, neither seeming person that is there, either, no one's responsible for the thoughts that are happening anyway. You know, on a dualistic level, we say, oh, I'm in a relationship with you. Oh, I really love you. Now I'm being sarcastic. Oh, I really love you. And then what originally brings two people together is love. Now, where the hell does that come from? You don't choose to fall in love. And we all know that, yeah? But we seem to overlook the magnificence of that. Where does that come from? How does that happen? How? So you got love that attracts love and it just comes together. And at that point, you don't care what the person thinks. You're not even concerned about their background. You don't care about anything. All I know is that there's love. I just love this person. And that just happens. If we had any choice over that, and you guys have heard me say it before, you know, like if we had any choice over falling in love, man, I'd be walking down the street falling in love with at least a dozen people a day. Why? Because it feels great. And we can't do that. Like, we literally can't do that. When love hits you, where the hell does that come from? There's no choice in it. There's no choice in it. Just happens. And, you know, it's all wonderful for a little while. And then the minds start to, in the dualistic minds, very subtly and slowly at the beginning, start to go into battle with one another. Oh, it's cute that he leaves the lid off the toothpaste. Oh, it's so cute that he leaves the lid off the toothpaste. Oh, and he leaves his socks lying around, and oh, but I love him. You know, 12 months later, you want to kill him because he keeps leaving the lid off the toothpaste. And if I find one more sock on the ground, I'll choke him with it. Like, where's it all gone? The old mind thinks it knows better. It produces nothing but chaos, separation, blame. That's what it produces. Why? Because it works dualistically. That's all there is to it. It works dualistically. That's the only way it can work. So if we take ourselves to be a me that's in love with other, the relationship's doomed. Wow. I shouldn't say doomed, but, you know, in at least 50% of cases, people get divorced. What happened to the love? Where's that gone? Instead of relating to one another as one, we start relating to one another as two. And there's the duality right there. Yeah. All based on, coming back to your point, Malcolm, language. Language. Oh man, The whole show is a setup. It's a complete setup. If you're not the thinker, right, and you're not responsible for experiencing or feeling love when it hits you, what the hell's going on? Tell me it's not a setup. I dare you. Tell me it's not a setup. None of us are responsible for one single solitary thought that arises. And part of that setup is we believe we are. I am the thinker. Okay. All right. Stop it. You know, and it really is as simple as literally seeing it's a setup. Like we believe, yeah, that every action that we take, all the things that we do, all the things that we decide, you know, all of that, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, is based on a belief in our capacity to think. Is it not? Just a belief in our capacity to think. But no one here does any thinking. Thinking just happens. Which brings us to free will. Where's free will now? Yeah. Free will is all based on a belief that I think. Therefore, I can do or not do. Choose, not choose. Go, stay. Hide, play. All of it, you know, it's. And then remove all thought, blank. Now where's the decision maker? What's going to happen now? Oh, nothing. Cool. Most of us as human beings would love to experience that. Just shut down. But the problem is, as a person, we can't experience that. Because even if we could experience that, it shut down, but then it'd start up again, because the mind would say, oh, this is really cool, it's quiet, and straight away it's not quiet again. Boom. Reactivated. How do I get back to that silence? That was really cool. Oh. The whole thing's a setup. Like I'm speaking now, but there's no one speaking. There's just speaking happening. And that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Just like there's thinking happening. Just like my heart's beating, breathing is happening, food's being digested. I mean, how far do you want to go? Like, oh, the cells in our body. Was a trillion of them or something? Man. I'm the body, I'm responsible for my body. Really? You're ordering all those cells around telling them what to do, where to go, which if you were the body, if you really believed you were the body, you'd be in charge of it. You would be in charge of it. Body's just happening. Heart's just beating. Don't even have to think about it. Just happening. Need to go to the toilet. You don't have to think about that. Off to the toilet. When the body gets hungry, there's pain, hunger pains. You don't have to remind yourself to eat. That also just happens. Now, in relation to me or mind or the body, just tell me one thing, just one, that's not just happening. One. No takers? Boom, you're awake. That's it. Just one thing that's not just happening. And honestly, if you think you've spotted something, tell me. Love to hear about it. I haven't spotted anything. There's something I've missed, tell me. Like my fingers then just scratched the nose. I didn't even think about it. That just happened. Oh, adjusting the glasses. Patty just scratching her neck then. I saw that, Patty. You know, so much stuff happens that we're just not conscious of. And to look, really, to come to see what it is I'm actually talking about, really, you need to become more conscious. And what we usually do, we don't understand that. Become more conscious. How does one become more conscious? But how that gets interpreted is, I need to really think about this. I've got to, like, what am I missing there? I need a bit more knowledge around how to become more conscious. So it's just noticing it. You're already conscious. We don't notice it. Just like the little nuances, all the little things that the body does throughout the course of that, we don't notice it. Why? Walking around half asleep. One eye closed, focusing on the mind, and the other eye open, believing it's trying to navigate around the world. Oh, shit. It's a show. It's a setup. It's a show. These seeming me's that we're taking ourselves to be, even those are put there. The me's all based on thought. Language, as you said in the beginning, Malcolm. Me is all nothing but thought. And we've surely at this point in time, we've come to see thought just happens. Therefore, the me just happens. It's put there. So perhaps another way of putting it is, you're being thought into a seeming existence, Whereas the personal person believes it's the thinker.